Hey guys, this one's been long overdue. This is the Nexus 5 versus iPhone 5s, Google versus Apple, or Android versus iOS 7. Call it whatever you like. This is much bigger than a smartphone comparison, and what we've got are two of the most popular phones of the year, and even though one is almost half the price of the other, the question is, how much do they really differ in performance, and which one delivers a better smartphone experience? I've been using both the devices for over a week now, and this review is based on that. Glossy plastic on the edges and matte finish at the back. I really like the Nexus 5 with the white back. It feels more vibrant. The contrasting white and black feels refreshing than most of the other smartphones. The entire face of the phone is taken up by the Gorilla Glass, and being black, it looks like one slab of gloss. It looks pretty neat, except for the top of the phone, which has a small round earpiece that's white in color, and I guess its purpose is to let you know that you're holding the phone upright. The power key and the volume buttons are on the side, the headphone jack at the top, and the speaker and the USB port at the base of the phone. The iPhone 5s has a completely different design philosophy, and it looks no different from the previous generation iPhone 5. It has the all-glass front with the aluminium bezel all around and the metallic back, and the charging port and the speaker at the base of the device. Everything about the iPhone feels really good and classy, from the volume buttons that are crafted beautifully to the home button that's protected with sapphire crystal. It's thinner, smaller and lighter than the Nexus 5. The 5s has a 4-inch LCD which boasts of the Retina display, but Apple has been riding on that for a while, and Android has gone way ahead with larger full HD screens that are much sharper than the iPhone. And the Nexus 5 is no exception. It has a 5-inch full HD LCD with Gorilla Glass 3 to protect it. Both the phones have great screens, and where the Nexus 5's larger screen feels better for reading and absorbing content, the iPhone's smaller screen makes it easy for single-handed operation. Both the phones offer a lot of options from the lock screen itself. Nexus 5 has access to notifications, settings, camera, and Google Now. And you can have multiple lock screens and widgets to give you information without the need of unlocking the phone, which is pretty cool. The iPhone now comes with similar functions, thanks to iOS 7. From the lock screen, you can access the notifications with a slide down from the top. You can slide up from the bottom of the device to bring up the control center. The control center also gives access to a lot of other features like AirDrop, brightness control, and even controlling your music. The iPhone 5s also comes with a fingerprint scanner, which is pretty unique. So you can unlock your phone by placing your finger on the home screen button, and you don't have to punch in the passcode. This works very well since the home button is naturally placed, and within a second you can unlock the phone. It's damn convenient. It's one of those things that once you get the hang of it, you just can't let go of it. Apple has completely redesigned the OS by throwing in a splash of color. It does bring in some new features. You can stack your apps into folders. The browser has a new look and better functionality, or the universal search that can be easily accessed by a simple swipe down on the center of the screen, and you can locate anything from contacts, emails, SMSs, or even apps. It still adopts the simple tiled approach with all the app icons. There are no widgets, no customization as such, and that's where Android excels. The Nexus 5 with the Android KitKat 4 is very clean, and you can customize it the way you like. Apps and widgets can be added on the home screens, placed and resized the way you want them. The app drop provides access to all your apps, and Google has further integrated itself into the operating system. The dialer has got a new look and now includes a Google search of nearby places which might not be on your contact list. So if you type in pizza or coffee, it'll show you the nearby coffee shops and pizza places around you. It works pretty fast, and as I discovered it, I ended up using it more often. Even text messages are now combined with the Hangout app, so all your conversations can reside in one place. Google's open approach is visible in the settings option, which now has the option to switch to third-party launchers, and it further shows how the operating system supports that whole customization and personalization of your phone, unlike the iPhone. Something that really irked me on the iPhone was the data cap on the App Store for downloading apps through cellular data. For apps that are larger than 100 MB, you need to be connected to a Wi-Fi connection. The iPhone simply won't allow you to download the app on cellular data. Now this really sucks when you desperately need to download some essential app and you're on the move and you're just not able to do so. I understand that Apple has put this cap on data usage to avoid hefty data charges, but for those who are already on unlimited data packs, this can be very frustrating. Not everyone has access to Wi-Fi at all times, and this dependence on Wi-Fi just sucks. More so because Android handles this issue pretty well. Rather than just saying no to apps that are large, it gives you the option of choosing whether you want to download the app on cellular data or on Wi-Fi, and it's your choice whether you want to download it or not. When you compare Siri to Google Now for voice services, I would have to say Google Now has an edge when it comes to web-based search. Not only does it work faster than Siri, but does a much better job in location-based search. Where is the nearest hospital?
Sorry, Anant. I can't look for places in India.
Google Now uses Google for your search, whereas Siri refers mainly to others like Bing, Wikipedia and Wolfram Alpha. But Siri has better integration with the iPhone itself. Even though the camera on the two phones is an 8 megapixel, there's a big difference in the photographs. The iPhone 5s has great optics and very simple to use interface. There are different filters to choose from and the full HD video quality is pretty good. The 5s is also capable of recording high-speed video, which is good for action shots. The camera is fast and almost always delivers sharp images. It has a much wider lens than the Nexus 5, so you capture more in the frame. The Nexus 5 camera is pretty slow in autofocusing and shutter speed. Even though the Nexus 5's camera has got a firmware upgrade from Google, the improvement is marginal. The interface isn't quite simple when you want to change settings, but otherwise it's easy to take shots. The quality isn't all that bad. It's not as good as some of the premium smartphones, but acceptable by all means. Between the two, the iPhone 5s is clearly better, and more importantly, a faster shooter. The Nexus 5 and the iPhone 5s carry very different specs. The iPhone clearly seems underpowered, but the 64-bit architecture coupled with iOS 7 does a good job. I played games, browsed the web, watched videos, and all the time I was doing any of those, I preferred the Nexus 5 for its larger, sharper screen. Not that the iPhone couldn't handle it, it's just that the larger screen meant better on-screen control for games and it showed more content during videos and web browsing, and that's what matters to me. The speaker for both the phones is placed at the base, which in landscape mode, you can end up muffling the sound with your grip. so both are at a disadvantage here. But I must add that the iPhone 5s speaker is better than the Nexus 5. Multitasking is simple on both, with a tiled approach to show the running apps and the ability to switch to them or close them with a swipe. Again, the on-screen button on the Android felt faster than tapping the home button twice on the iPhone 5s. You will notice that the animations on the iPhone are also slow compared to the Android, and in a real world that won't make much of a difference except for the power user who just want things to be more snappy. And that's where Android KitKat feels more snappy than iOS 7. The iPhone 5s has great build quality, and I must say it's the most comfortable smartphone in the world when it comes to single-handed operation. The fingerprint scanner does a good job, and I must say the OS has improved in functionality and added a lot of features, which is great, but I can't say the same for its design. It's again a personal preference. I find it a little too gimmicky and the animations a little slow. Even the Retina display is not the sharpest amongst smartphones anymore, and the battery life hasn't improved at all. But I must say the camera is still the best amongst smartphones. It's still the easiest to use. And the bottom line is, if you love the whole Apple design philosophy and are already married to the Apple ecosystem, you already have a MacBook or an iPad, then you could consider the iPhone 5s. Now do remember, this costs $650 for the unlocked version, which is almost double the price of the Nexus 5. Now this is for $350, and the Nexus 5 has achieved what pretty much no other smartphone has. We actually compared a $350 phone with a $650 smartphone, and even though it has a weak camera and does not bring fancy biometrics in its design, but it still feels good in the hand. And Android KitKat has further evolved into a smarter operating system with more power to the user, and above all, a larger and sharper screen with better battery life and at half the price. If that's not reason enough to pick up the Nexus 5, I just don't know what to say. LG and Google have pretty much nailed it at delivering a powerful smartphone at an affordable price. For me, I find the camera a little too weak compared to the LG G2 or the Note 3. Of course, they're more expensive, but they also offer more battery life. Anyway, what do you think of the Nexus 5 and the iPhone 5s? Which way are you going to go, Android or iOS? Vent it out in the comment section below, and if you have any questions about the two devices, shoot right away and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And if you've made it this far in the video, be nice, like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.